Okay, I got this one. What is it saying? 2, 3. I might be going all together. Okay. I got to my townhouse and like the doctor said, if you don't get better, you can't be alone. And I'm like, I'm too strong for that. And I was smart once, like I said, but then I wasn't. So I help with Courage Center. I mean, I was in the brain injury area and I helped with them because when they're frustrated, it's really sad to see them because they don't have any emotion, but a different kind of emotion than anyone else would have. I'll use one. We had 30 people in the room, and this girl, and she was young, I'd say 20, she would always grunt really bad. Well, I knew how you grunt because it's like, shut up, I can't understand you. Well, the mother and father were using her at third person. Well, this is what my daughter is, and I don't know what to do with her, and she's right there. And I felt that, like, oh yeah, I know what that is. And she hits the table, and she goes, ugh. I mean, it was strong. It was kind of scary. So they kept talking, and you could just see the look in her face. So I raised my hand, and I said, can I tell you why she's mad? And I did say mad. I remember that. And because you're using it third person, she can understand you, but we can't verbally explain it. And I said, so she's your daughter. You talk to her like she's right there. Don't use her like she doesn't understand you, because actually she does. If you talk fast or something out of place, no. But most of the time she can understand you. So would you please do that? And the daughter hits the table. You see what things happen. It's so cool. She hits the table 3 times and she yells, yes, yes, yes. And I mean, it shook people because she did it so hard. And everyone started, I didn't cry because I'm like, okay, this happened to me. Why are you guys all freaking out? Well, then the parents later on says, oh, I'm so glad you're here helping these people. How did you come into this? So I told her. They go, I wouldn't have guessed. I'm like, thank you. So that was one. And I don't have any papers in front of me because I wrote everything down that ever happened to me. And to me, it would be easier telling it to you than me writing it, because I write really not finishing words and I thought I did and whatever. But I had this gentleman, he was racing a bike in some kind of thing in Minnetonka, Minnesota. And they were all on this road. Well, here this woman that shouldn't have been there was riding a bike too, I guess he said. And he said, I went right into her. I went over and hit his head on a rock. And he was like me at first. We looked normal. 6 months later is when I had the brain injury. I couldn't catch on to anything. So people say, oh, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Fine, go. People don't understand. Like, April, I got an accident. May, June is when I had a hernia from the accident, and my knee was bad, and my arm was in a sling. And that was all later. And then finally it was getting worse and worse that I told him I had to quit my job at Helzberg Diamonds because I wasn't understanding what people are saying. And people who don't believe that, I have one person in the store who, my gosh, treated me so like I was stupid. She wanted to see if I was faking it. And then when she would do things like hit my elbow or hit my leg, and I'm like, and I go, I knew that she was playing mind games with me. But she's no longer there, so you guys can keep going to Helzberg. And what is the other one? I'm driving, I'm hipping, I'm crying. See, this is why I don't want to put anything down, because I don't remember. I had vertigo. Oh, this was funny. I was standing there, and I leaned to the left, and I fell, well, into a wall. And I'm like, oh my God, this is really weird. So I went to the neurologist and the speech pathologist, Candace, her name was, my neurologist is Dr. Golden. And I said, why do you do that? Because they says brain injury can screw things up, whatever. So I'm okay. So I've learned that, and I still, sometimes it has actually, in 14 years, it has gotten worse. I have to admit, my eyes are being more different. My hips are feeling uncomfortable as they want to pop out. and I'm falling. I think it's both ways. I'm actually falling. And I can't walk a straight line. I don't, maybe I could years ago, but I cannot even, if you see me, I walk like more than a duck. Okay, so my right leg's really further out, whatever. When I had the accident, the paramedics said, okay, I didn't say this before. Paramedics said I should have broken my legs because my legs went right up to the edge and went forwards. That right, yeah. And so my legs were black and blue forever, and one of them really hurt really bad. And it still does, but it's better. But I walk like a duck, or weird. And then what was the other one? This is funny. He said the glass should have broken my car because when the truck hit me, that bar that's like right here, it totally bent in, and so did the glass. And the paramedics said this shouldn't have happened. And then I had a car, Acura CL 3.0. I don't have one like that no more. But it was short, right? It's a smaller car. And then the paramedics said, as hard as the guy hit you, you should have tipped it. And so that's what's kind of cool. Because I'm like, yeah, it didn't happen, but cool. But it did total the car on one side. So the car was total. I'm going to stop this and go another day because I can't remember. But I'm going to put this on YouTube. Now remember, it took me till 2016 to do this. And I'm hoping, if you don't like it, don't tell me because I get an anxiety now. But I'm very easygoing. But if someone says it's something bad, I kind of get anxiety. But if you have a brain injury friend or something, send it on. Or if you're in Minnesota, I would love to meet someone. I've done that so many times because I know how they feel. Okay, I got another one. I was at the Courage Center right when I had the accident. I would say within less than a year. I would know I'll be here. This guy stared at me, and I'm like, oh my God, he's staring. What is he doing? I kept looking away, and he just smiled and stared. And I tried to ignore, I didn't mean to ignore him, but I tried to not, give him eye contact. Well, you know what's really interesting? I did the same thing. It took me a year and a half to understand that I did the same thing. It was hard for me a brain injury person, me, if I look at something and say it's pretty or it's different or a joke I couldn't remember, but, or understand it. But it was like, you have to stare at it a little bit, and you stare, and then if they look at you, you smile, but you stare. And you feel so bad. I don't think I felt bad. I would go up to the person and go, hi, how are you? And I would just talk to them. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And, oh, my eyes are crooked. That is really bad. And that's what I realize now that I did when this gentleman in a wheelchair just kept staring at me and smiling like, I did that. So, and then I understood that, hey, it takes so long to get in your brain that you do stupid things. I found out that when I was helping two gentlemen with a brain injury, one did drugs, and I can't remember the other one. Well, I'm trying to picture them. But what they did is that I told him, be positive, your brain will remap, but it's going to take you a while to do it. And then things will slowly happen. It's not going to happen every day, and some things do. It's kind of cool. But he would talk to me all the time, but then he would go remission back. And I'm like, know what? And then he started like, we got to go to dinner. We got to do this. I'm like, no. And I realized when I and this gentleman, I think the other one too. Okay, I'm just using this one. When you talk to someone, their level, they fall for you. And because I'm giving the time of day. This gentleman was mad. He was always mad at everything that happened. Oh, and he did the drugs and stuff, but he said his employees, bosses or whatever hated him. And I go, do you understand why? He says, because you're frustrated, because you can't do it, and you're making them feel stupid and mean, or whatever, bad. And he then finally went to work, I don't know how long. So anyway, he went to work and he realized, he says, oh my God, you can see the flame come out of me, because he was mad. And he goes, now I understand that it was me, he said. And it's interesting because when I got hit, I worked for Helzberg Diamonds, and I GIA for Helzberg Diamonds, and that was 7.5 or 8 years to total. And then I was 95 to 2002, then, you know, a little over 2002. And then before that, so you think going back and being really screwed up, at 21, I managed Susie's Casuals, Susie's. So I did that the whole time, and I was in every mall in Minnesota. I worked at all of them, except a new one, maybe if there's a new one coming out, but I don't think so. But anyway, it was one of the best times in my life, because I like selling to people and making them look good. If they don't look good, I'm quite blunt. And people that either not famous, which is probably me, like me, or that were famous, they go, Robbie, I totally respect you. And I go, okay. You know, I'm like, duh, because I'm doing it. But yeah, it was fun. And then I went to, from Susie's, I went to Champ Sports. And Champ Sports, going to the game, it was the car with the pink car in the store. So I worked in both of them. And that was really cool. I had no idea what to do with sports, because I wasn't a sports person. But I got employees. I hired employees that were very smart and incredible kids. And adults. I had both. I'm like, wait a minute. And then I went to Helzberg Diamonds, because a girlfriend said, hey, you should try this. I'm like, But